Hello class, welcome to Anamika ma'am's classroom. Today I will discuss about mathematical library methods in Java. This is part 2. In part 1 I have already discussed about 5 mathematical library methods. The link of that video I will provide in my description box. So let's start with the remaining methods, that means mathematical methods in Java. So let's start. First one is Math.round. Math.round means this function returns the value in rounded form. That means this function works same as our decimal. What is the rule of our decimal round off? That means if the number is below 0.5, then the number remains same. If it is 0.5 or more, then we increase the integer value by 1. So if it is fraction part is below 0.5, then no change. Below 0.5, then no change. 0.5 or more. 0.5 or more, we increase the value by 1. So this is the same rule as our round off rule. So let's see one example. In the first example, Math.round, and it returns in double data type. So you have to store in double type of variable. A is a double type of variable. Now you use math, A means capital always, Math.round and 6.25. So after point there is 2. So there is no change. 6.25 remains 6 only. So let's see the output. It is 6.0. Then if it is up to 0.4, then no change. If it is 0.5 or more, then only we change it. Let's see the second example, which is 6.85. So after point there is 8. So obviously we increase it by 1. So the answer is 7. Because after point we have a value which is more than 5. 5 or more than 5, it becomes increase. Then Math.round minus 8.92. Don't bother about minus. Just look at after point what you have. After point you have 9. So you have to increase. So it is 9.0. Then come to the next function, which is Math.rint. R-I-N-T, Math.rint. Here the only difference between Math.round and Math.rint is, in Math.round it is the same as our rule. That means 0.5 or more we increase. 0.5 or more increase. But it is till 0.5 we should not increase the value. So here the only difference, that's why I underline it, that if it is 0.5 in round, we have to increase the value. But in rint, if it is 0.5 also, then also don't increase the value. Only for after 0.5, that means above 0.5, then only you increase the value. Otherwise not. So if it is below or equal to 0.5, same. If it is more than 0.5, then you have to increase the value. Let's see the example. 6.45. So after 0.4, so don't need to increase. 6 only or 6.0. It also return in double. In second example, it is 8.92. 0.9, obviously it increased. 9.0. Up to that same as round. Now take one example which is 7.5. if it is round, instead of rint, if we write down round, then 7.5 means it's 8. But in rint, this is only the difference. If it is up to 0.5, no change. So it is 7 only. But if it is round, then we have to increase by 1. If it is Math.round 7.5, then it becomes 8. But in rint, up to 5, no change. So up to 5, 7.5, no change. That means no increment, only 7. If it is 7.6, then only you have to increase by 1, which is 8. So I think it is clear to you what is the difference between round and rint. Then come to the third one, which is Math.floor. This function is also used to round. This is also used to round for like round function and rint function. This function also used for rounded off. But the difference is it returns a number down to the nearest integer. That means if it is 6.25, then obviously it is 6. If it is 6.82, then according to rint and round, it must be 7. But when it is floor, it also it is 6. Why? Because you think about floor. Floor is always below. Floor and ceiling. So floor is always below. That's why if after point there is 0.5 or more, then also you don't increase its value. So after point, whatever you have, don't increase its value. So it may be 0.5 or more, then also don't increase its value, because floor means, you know, down. Floor means down. So you follow the rule of down and don't increase it, make it down. That means 6.8 to also 6. Now comes to one minus example. Minus 6.25. It becomes minus 7 because our aim is make it down. So make it down means minus 6 point something. So minus 7 is less than minus 6.25. So minus 7 is down from minus 6.25. That's why make it minus 7. When you get any minus number and any fractional value, then you make it more down. That means minus 7. Like this, any minus 6.85 also minus 7. So I again repeat, in floor you always remember that floor means down. So where we stand, that is floor. On floor we stand. So floor means down. So after point, in positive number, after point, if you get 2 or 0.5 or more, any number, it becomes the same. So don't increase the value at floor, comes down. But if you got any minus figure, then you minus 6 point something, make it minus 7, because we make it more down. That means minus 6.25, minus 7 is less than minus 6.25. And our aim is make it more down, that means below. That's why when you get after minus figure any fraction part you get, just make that means increase 1, that means actually you decrease minus 7. Same happen to this. Then come to the next function, which is ceiling. It is just the opposite of floor function. Ceil means ceiling. Ceiling always comes to our top. So let's take example 6.25. So after point, when 2, we don't increase the value. But when it is the ceiling function, then we increase the value. Otherwise, 0.5 or more, then only we increase the value. But ceiling is top. top of our head. That means ceiling always top of our head. That's why we always try to increase the value. 6 point something only, 1 also you increase. 6.1 also, then also it becomes 7. So 6.82 to obviously 7, because in our simple rule 0.5 or more we increase by 1, and in ceiling to always we increase, so it becomes 7. Now look at some minus 6.25 ceiling. It becomes minus 6 only, because if we make it minus 7, then it is the less number. That means we make it down. But our aim is to always make it top. That's why minus 6.25, it becomes minus 6 only. But if it is plus 6.25, then it is 7. But if it is minus 6.25, then you don't do minus 7, you keep it minus 6 only. So you don't decrease the value. Then the last example is minus 6.85. Obviously it is also minus 6, because if you make it minus 7, then we decrease the value, but our aim is always increase the value. So that's why minus 6. Then Math.random. Math.random means it comes random function, and inside here don't use any variable name or any value here. Math.random function, if you use Math.random function, it returns any number, any random number between 0 and 1. So it returns any random number, but the random number should be between 0 and 1. It automatically returned back by the computer, not by us. It is not in our hand. We just use Math.random function, and it stored it in a double type variable. Suppose take one example, double A equal to Math.random. Don't use any value here. I again repeat, don't use any value or variable name here. Randomly it returns any number, but that number should be between 0 and 1. That means 0.02 or 0.1 or 0.2, 0.3, 0.9 something. So between 0 and 1. So it obviously returns one fractional number. So suppose it returns 0.08564. Maybe again you run the program, it returns some different value, maybe 0.06756, like this. So any number which is between 0 to 1, 0 and 1 is not included here. After 0, that means from 0.00 something, and before that means not 1, 0.999999 like this, but not 1. 0 and 1 is not included here, between 0 and 1. So that much for another function left. This is the last one, Math.cbrt. So we already learned about Math.sqrt for square root. It is for cube root. So CBRT for cube root, SQRT square root, and CBRT for cube root. Let's take one example. CBRT, whatever number you give, it return whatever the cube root of this number, it return back cube root of this number. CBRT I already discussed in my previous video, which link I will provide, and CBRT for cube root. So that much for today's class. Please subscribe my channel. If you till now not subscribed it, please subscribe my channel and like and share my channel. And for online classes, if you want to take tuition from me for online classes only in computer, any class, any board, you can contact me. I will provide my phone number in my description box. Thank you for watching it.